Hello and welcome to Redmen TV. Very, very disappointing day at the office there. We're out of the FA Cup. The story of the night coming up to the game was VAR to be used for the first time at Anfield. Sadly, we didn't need any replay of that to just to sum up how poor of a performance that was, particularly the first half. Um, Almost go as far to say it was a complete another shambles. At times, the lack of bite. We come into the game after the horror show that was in Swansea on Monday night, and we're looking for a bounce back. We're looking for a reaction at home. It's the FA Cup. People had talked about the importance of getting a trophy, getting on a good FA Cup run, getting a rebound to that horror show of Monday night, and we didn't really get it, did we? And it's just such a weird, horrible, frustrating night, and really, really difficult to try and sum that game up. You go back to the start. Team selection didn't really raise that many eyebrows. He went relatively strong. Switched the keepers, with Carri's now being the number one choice. Some England played in the cup game. By and large, refreshed the fullbacks as well. But by and large, it was a relatively strong team, and nobody before the game had any qualms with the team selection. Everybody was kind of, the general consensus was, Klopp has shown the bit of respect to the FA Cup, but it wasn't really matched or mirrored by the performance on the pitch. We started pretty okay. Held the ball, moved the ball pretty quickly. It was a pretty decent start. We got the breakthrough, ball over the top. They make a bit of a fuck up of it, comes through. Salah nicks the way through, shot a saved, and then Bobby scores an absolute beautiful, beautiful chip, just right off the sand wedge, just goes straight over, and it's a beautiful, beautiful finish. And you thought, here we go, this is the reaction, everything that we hoped for, thought was going to happen. Then, it really, really looked promising at that stage. And then while we were still celebrating, they pretty much go down straight down the pitch, and they get a absolutely worldly of their own with Rodriguez, who was on fire tonight. If that's a guy that has the flu, I want a bit of that. He was phenomenal in the first half. The first goal, there's a couple of mistakes on it, but it's just a beautiful, beautiful finish. And as I said, we were still celebrating, and it's 1-1, and you're thinking, what the hell here? And then we seem to weirdly just fall to bits. They came into the game, we were totally dead in midfield. We offered nothing, got completely and then that's summarized up really with the second goal. It's just like, I think I tweeted at the time, like a hot knife through butter. They literally just tore us apart. Chan gets done, comes through, doesn't make a tackle, then goes a little niggle, doesn't get another tackle. Trent, who I thought unfortunately, I was looking forward to him in a game like this. I thought he would thrive on it. I thought he would have a lot of open spaces in front of him to really, really exploit his attacking strengths. But he was very, very poor, and he did a couple of, the guy's a kid, but he did a couple of kiddish things there with a couple of the plays. And the first goal, especially, like himself and Genie caught poor. Then he jumps in, kind of swings a leg at a tackle, and then Moreno probably doesn't cover himself in glory. Go back to the second one, then Chan has come through, he gets done, he gets burned, he goes a little flick, the ref plays advantage. If he's going to take a flick, just chop him, take the free kick completely, but he doesn't either, and we're just exposed, and it's another one in, and it's 2-1, and you're thinking, Jesus, what the hell has gone on here? And then after that, VAR just completely stole the limelight. They have a goal 3-1 that's ruled off. Minglet does there's two ways you can react to a situation of getting dropped by your manager and publicly being told that you're not first choice anymore. You can sulk and you can go back on your shell, which Minglet did, or you can answer it and fight back. And he did completely nothing, and he looks like he's just zapped of confidence whatsoever. He hardly budged from his line. He got a bit lucky. Bobby as well didn't cover himself in glory with the header, but he was outfought. But Minglet, I don't know what he's doing. He's rigid on the line. You're like, are you going to come for that ball? Are you just going to stand there? We get lucky that the guy is offside. There's the whole kind of weird moment. What's really going on here? I can only imagine what it was like for the fans at the stadium, because at least we had the benefit of the TV cameras, telling us what's happening. But they're stood there in a kind of a surreal moment, and even the video that the guys posted of that is kind of complete silence. Then hey, that sort of a moment. It gets overruled. You think that's going to kick us into life, and you hear the big roar straight away. The last thing we wanted was to be 2 goals down. We come back, and then we VAR takes another big limelight moment. With the penalty, and Salah is tugged back. He goes down pretty easily, but it is a penalty in my mind. Couldn't believe it took them. I think it was almost 4 minutes to make the decision, and even it just shows the mockery of the system. It's not very well thought through. The fact that the ref has to go over to the sideline, get abused by players and fans, etc., and then walk back, given the decision. They took an absolute age. Penalty is given. You're thinking 2-2 here. We're going to march on. We're going to smash them. We're going to grow in the game. We're going to wake up. Instead, Bobby, again, unfortunate with the penalty to an extent, hits underneath the bar, bounces out, and away we go, and we look zapped. As I said, had that been 2-2, we'd have marched on. It was almost like that Sevilla moment again in the first round of the Champions League. We just kind of died, and then we kind of there was almost kind of a weird lull, kind of dead atmosphere then towards the end of the first half, until bloody 3-1 goal right at half time. And it's another calamity of errors. There's defensive issues, there's keeper issues. It's just an absolute horror show of a goal to give away right before half time as well. And of course VAR took its limelight as well. You're thinking, are we going to get away with one more here? Unfortunately not. And it was just, our worst nightmares came true really. 3-1. Coming into half time, we looked for you're going to hope for a bit of reaction. Hopefully you get the tempo going straight away. But our midfield was that poor. Fullbacks were, Trent especially, I thought was very poor. He made a couple of very bad mistakes. There's the one ball where it passes out of him. He takes a touch, he lets it run out of play. Shanks a couple of crosses. We never got into the game. And they kind of sit back, and West Brom are comfortable. They sit back and they play our way through as they kind of play through our lines coming into them, and it looks like it's going to be horrible. And then I think what summarised the whole game up, Klopp was so reserved with his substitutions. He makes 3 on the 65-minute mark, and Hendo, Milner and Ings come on, and we kind of grow a bit back into the game, and it kind of sums up how bad our midfield was. Henderson especially thought was quite decent. We got a bit of grip on the game. We moved the ball a bit quicker, and we made a final push to try and save the game. We end up getting one back through Salah. Again, it's a bit of sustained pressure. The ball comes back to, it's back and forth. The ball goes out to Trent. He takes another poor cross. We get lucky with it. It kind of comes off Bobby, and Salah tucks it away. And you think at this stage here, I think there was about 13 minutes to go. You're thinking, yeah, come on, the atmosphere was bouncing. Everyone's coming back. You think we were going to get an opportunity. And we didn't really. We never really took, and the opportunity was there. You factor in as well that I think it was 6 players I think they had missing because of that flu injury, and a couple of lads hanging on the edge. They lost 2 people to injuries in the first half. A couple of lads really struggling with injuries there. They were almost like they were down to 8 or 9 men, and we didn't really, a couple of half chances aside, we didn't make the most of the opportunity, and it's so frustrating again. And it's another, the negative part of me will look back to last January, and we were thinking, the same thing is happening again here. We leave the cup at the 4th round stage. Interestingly, it's another W. What West Ham, Wolves, and now West Brom that booed us out of the FA Cup on the 4th round stage, and it's just a horrible sinking feeling. And Klopp said before the game, he loved the time of the game, so everyone could come into town to celebrate afterwards. Unfortunately, everyone's just going to be having a couple of depressing points or whatever. It's so disheartening to take a huge sense of a missed opportunity. I was quite vocal on it. I wanted the FA Cup so bad. I wanted the day out of Wembley. I wanted a pot to celebrate, just to show for the season, and unfortunately we've blown that, and the chances of silver this season again looks like it's going to be another whitewash. And all in all, it's I'm the most positive guy in the world, but it's really struggled to get to think positively now. I suppose the only saving grace, and I'm really clutching at straws here, is again we have a game Tuesday night, Huddersfield away. Klopp with his best man, his best buddy. We need a win so bad. We need a reaction. We need some fight back. We showed a small little bit in the second half, but not enough. And all in all, a horrible, really disappointing night. And as I said, I started the video with saying VAR wouldn't, our instant match replay wouldn't save that, or make it in a better light. And we're going to have to end again. And similar note, don't need to watch that back to show how bad it was. But look, there you are, folks. As they always say, at the end of the storm, there's a golden sky. So let's hope that golden sky is Tuesday night. Thanks for watching. It's never nice talking after a horrible defeat like that, but there you are, folks. That's the life of a Liverpool fan. Hope you liked the video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the Redmen TV. The guys will be back with their match reaction outside the ground. They'll talk to some fans, etc. Keep it an eye out, and we'll talk to you all very soon. Up the Reds.